Romero, he's an awesome dude, he's on your PC. He likes to make reviews for the movies you see. And if you want to sub his channel, take it from me. He mixes all kinds of big surprise and he probably hates you. Romero Movie News, Romero Movie News, Romero Movie News, Romero Movie News, Romero Movie News.
Jackie Chan touched my wiener.
Oh, you gotta be freaking kidding me. How hard is it to catch a freaking Magikarp on this game? Just Oh, hi there. I'm Romero for, give me one second, for RMN. And today, I'm doing a video talking about my top 20 favorite movies of the entire year. Why top 20? Because 10 limits me, like, a lot, and I'm a very indecisive person, so yeah, there. I'm gonna admit that right now. Bet you were expecting me to say something else, huh? I'd get into a copyright lawsuit. I don't want to deal with that. Anyways, without further ado, here are my top 20 movies of the year. Enjoy.
First up, Star Trek Into Darkness. This was a movie we should have gotten in 2012, but in 2013, it was still one of my most anticipated films of the year, and well worth the wait. Though a lot of Trekkie fans voted this one of the worst movies in the Star Trek film franchise, I don't know why. I went into this movie with the mindset of being a fan of J.J. Abrams' work, and I left happy with the sequel, all around that has to do with Benedict Cumberbatch portraying the badass villainous Khan. All around, the more I watch this film, the more I enjoy it, and that's why it's part of my top 20 movies of 2013 list. Obviously next, Pacific Rim. My god, what a hell of a movie. I've made it vocally clear that this was one of my best and favorite movies of the entire year. Yeah, that's right, the entire year. And I went to the Hollywood premiere, and I gotta say, this movie delivered everything I wanted and more from it. Though some people have gone out of their way to say they expected more from director Guillermo del Toro, I think it delivered on everything he promised and promoted with this film, and all around, he satisfied my kaiju craving that had been wanted for so long. That's why it's part of my top 20 list. Up next, Trance. I didn't know much about this movie going in, only that it was directed by the same guy who did 127 Hours in Slumdog Millionaire, and that it dealt with the topic of hypnotism. Oh boy, was I shocked on the mind trip that I was taken on. This movie had so many twists and turns, sometimes I thought I was being hypnotized with the film. All around, the performances were great, and I saw Rosario Dawson naked. Anyways, this definitely deserved to be in my top 20 of the year. Up next, Gravity. This was a movie where two things stuck out for me: the visuals and the score. I gotta say, all around, those two things, along with the acting and performances by Sandra Bullock and George Clooney respectively, made this decision so much easier. And the 3D definitely worked in the favor for the film. All around, this movie took me on a pulse-pounding journey and an adrenaline-filled adventure that I definitely won't be forgetting anytime soon. And that's why it deserved to be on my top 20 movies of the year. Let's talk about Prisoners. Now, the reason this movie made it on my list was because I heard so many great reviews about it, and let me tell you, it definitely deserves the praise. One thing that I gotta say stood out for me that really made the performances that much better in this movie is that there's no score or music hardly playing in the background, which gives it a more realistic feel and all around gives those tension-gripping moments that much more intensity. All around, the performances are great by Hugh Jackman, Terrence Howard, and everyone else, and it definitely deserved to be on my top 20 of the year. Now let's talk about Don John. This is Joseph Gordon-Levitt's directorial debut film, and I gotta say, this guy knows what he's doing behind the camera as well as in front of it. The movie deals with topics like romance, sex, relationships, and of course, porn. And I gotta say, they're handled really well because Joseph Gordon-Levitt all around knows what he's doing when it comes to directing, and I feel that's really going to have people keeping an eye on him in the coming years when it comes to film. All around, this movie's witty, funny, and definitely has its dramatic moments, and it deserved to be on my top 20, no doubt. Let's talk about Fruitville Station, a movie that gained so much praise in several film festivals, and all due to the fact of Michael B. Jordan. This movie showcased his acting ability so well, and it definitely earned him that praise. I gotta say, he delved in so much into this real-life character that to the point where I feel he was that person, and that's just an extraordinary thing to do. Down the line, he will definitely be remembered for this film and his portrayal of this character, and that's why why Fruitville Station is in my top 20 list. The Spectacular Now was a movie that I thought would be nothing more than another generic dramatic love story, and let me tell you, it definitely proved me wrong. This movie dives into the subject of being able to accept yourself for who you are and loving others for who they are as well. All around, I think Miles Teller and Shailene Woodley did a fantastic job, and their love story on screen is sometimes even difficult to watch and very, very heart-wrenching. And that's all due to their great and phenomenal performances individually. All around, this movie was definitely deserving of a top 20 spot, and I'm glad it's on my list. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty was a movie that at first the pace does take a little time to catch up, but once it does, I gotta say I lost myself completely in the world Ben Stiller had created for this character. This movie has been definitely getting a lot of praise and being even called the next Forrest Gump, and I gotta say, I am inclined to agree. The life of an ordinary man who goes from becoming ordinary to extraordinary is a story that I like being told on the screen, and I think Ben Stiller did a phenomenal job directing, and it definitely deserved to be in my top 20 of the year. Rush by Ron Howard was a movie that I desperately wanted to see in theaters, but unfortunately it didn't do that good in the box office and was let out too soon. But I finally did get to watch it, and I gotta say, I love this movie. It was amazing. Chris Hemsworth, it's refreshing to see him in another role that doesn't involve him having a red cape or a hammer, and Daniel Burrell as Niki Lauda was phenomenal. All around, I gotta say that this movie definitely portrayed the true story of the two biggest rivals in Formula One racing pretty damn well. And that's all attributed to Ron Howard. Definitely deserving to be in my top 20. 12 Years a Slave is a movie that had been gaining so much positive feedback that now that I've watched it, I gotta say, holy crap, is it well deserving of that feedback. This movie is insanely good. The performances are solid all the way around, and everybody just played off each other so well. And to the point where I couldn't even watch certain scenes because it was just so hard to stomach the fact that this actually happened to somebody. Though I probably won't be watching it a second or third time, the performance is definitely a tribute to making my final choice of adding it to this list. The World's End, the last movie in the Cornetto trilogy, and I gotta say, what a way to end it. All around, I'm a huge fan of Nick Frost and Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright, and the fact that this would be the last movie they would all be working together in, it was definitely a way to top it off. All around, this movie is funny and just all around a blast to watch, especially when you watch it together with friends, which I was opportune to do. All around, The World's End is definitely deserving to be on this list of top 20 movies of 2013. Baz Luhrmann's The Great Gatsby. Now, this was a movie that I was anticipating to see because of the fact that I read the book in high school and become very fond of it. And the fact that Baz Luhrmann was directing, I felt was a perfect fit. All around, I feel the performances by everybody were great, especially Tobey Maguire and Leonardo DiCaprio's. This movie, though it is a very heart-wrenching love story, I felt was perfect for the person directing it, and all around the performances and the visuals were solid. I gotta say, this definitely had to be in my top 20. Captain Phillips. Now, be advised, this won't be the only Tom Hanks movie on my list, but this one is well deserving to be on here. Tom Hanks is a phenomenal actor, and he's known for just completely submersing himself into every role he's in, and I think he did a hell of a job portraying Captain Phillips. Now, whether that's an accurate portrayal or not is up to whoever watches the movie, but I gotta say, I enjoyed his performance, and if he doesn't get nominated for at least one Best Actor nod for this movie, I hope he does for the next one. But this one is definitely deserving to be on my top 20 list. The Hunger Games: Catching Fire. Now, keep in mind, I've read the books, and with that said, I gotta say the movie itself is better than the book, and that's rare to say when it comes to book adapted films. All around, I think that's due to the fact that director Francis Lawrence is now helming the movie franchise, and I was ecstatic when I heard that announcement. All around, this movie surpasses the first Hunger Games in every aspect from acting to visuals, and it's definitely deserving to be on my top 20 of 2013 list, and I cannot wait for Mockingjay. The Place Beyond the Pines. Now, this movie I was excited to watch because it had some of my favorite actors from Bradley Cooper, Dane DeHaan, and Ryan Gosling. This movie, from the acting to the music and the cinematography, was just so well put together that it just helped the movie move so smoothly. All around, I enjoyed it. I thought it was an emotionally brilliant film, and I just adore this movie to death. I'm glad that this was able to make it to my top 20 movies of the year. The Wolf of Wall Street. Now, what can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? It's brilliant, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's raunchy, it's in your face. It's director Martin Scorsese, it's actor Leonardo DiCaprio, it's Jonah Hill. Everything in this movie is just working to its favor, and I love it. I think it's amazing, and if Leo doesn't win Best Actor for this movie, which I'm sure he probably will at least get nominated, then I'm happy it's in my top 20. Up next, The Grandmaster. Now, this movie was recommended to me by my friend Gabe of Stuffed Burrito Entertainment because we're both martial arts nuts. And when you add the choreographer from Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, you bet your sweet ass I'm gonna watch this movie. All around, I loved and adored this movie. The choreographed fight scenes are incredible, and all around, the cinematography is beautiful to watch. It's like watching ballet, but people get kicked in the face instead. All around, this movie was well deserving of a spot on my top 20 movies of 2013 list. The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Now, after a second viewing, I chose to add this movie to my top 20 list because of the fact it just surpasses An Unexpected Journey by so much. Every aspect about the sequel proves that it was trying to outdo its predecessor. That really, in the long run, helped me make this choice. The story's much more exciting, the characters are more interesting, and just everything has been taken to a whole new level. All around, The Hobbit deserves to be on my top 20 list, no doubt. Saving Mr. Banks. I told you there'd be another Tom Hanks movie, and this one will cap off my list this year. All around, Saving Mr. Banks was just a perfect film. Tom Hanks as Walt Disney, Emma Thompson as P.L. Travers. Their on-screen chemistry just clicked, and I felt it just all around helped the movie story move along even better. I enjoyed it from beginning to end, and I loved watching the story unfold. All around, I'm glad this is the last movie in my top 20 movies of 2013.
Get on the lousy fish hook, you stupid freaking magic cook. Oh, well, see, the video's over. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and let me know in the comments down below what were some of your favorite movies of the year, and I hope you're all ready for an exciting year in 2014 of film. Anyways, I'm Romero for RMN, and I've got your back, so you're on track. And I'm gonna go try to capture a magic card because I swear to God it's sending me in a cardiac arrest and I can't catch one! You stupid fish! Yeah!